What is up, everybody, and welcome back to Let's Play Kerbal Space Program. We are finally jumping back into career mode, our Let's Play save file, which we are starting out with 126,571 funds, 5.8 science points, and 1% reputation that we have earned from our first episode of Let's Play Kerbal Space Program. If you missed that, it'll be linked in the description below. But to start, we're going to go over to Mission Control, our tracking station, and take a look at our active contracts that we got stuck on our last episode, which caused us to go to the training exercises and take a look at all those. So, to start with, we need to gather scientific data from Kerbin. This is an objective that we need to recover or transmit any science experiment data from Kerbin to achieve this goal. This should have been a pretty easy goal to complete if I would have been able to successfully land in our craft back on Kerbin, but we kept crashing, so was not able to complete that. The other goal, or the other contract, is to conduct a focused observational survey of Kerbin, which we need to take a crew report in flight below 17,800 meters near zone 3 MH3. Now, we already received our advances for these goals, which was 2,240 and 7,500 respectively for those contracts. We'll get a pretty hefty payday for this one if we can complete that, 13,900. So those are our two contracts as of right now. We are about to head over to the vehicle assembly building and get prepared for mission number 8. So you can see there's our spacecraft that we had built in our previous episode. We're going to go ahead and delete those because we had no idea what we were doing. We've since taken a little bit of training, so now we kind of have an idea. We always start with the Mach 1 command pod, or our command pod regardless, and our parachute. That was what they suggested in training, so that's just, we're going to start doing that from now on. There's our RT5 Flea solid fuel engine. This is just a very basic, these are all in the starter pack, including the goo containment unit. So we're going to go ahead and set our symmetry to 2 times. The angle snap is on. It doesn't really need to be, but you can hold shift to do those in smaller increments as well. We learned all that in the basic construction tutorial. So we're just going to go ahead and do this very basic RT5 Flea engine with the Mark 1 command pod, Mark 16 parachute, and 2 goo containment units. Our total cost for this is 2,857 funds. We're going to go ahead and call it the Goo Collector Mark 1. Just because it's going to be our goo collector, it's the first version of it. So, Goo Collector Mark 1, we're going to go ahead and save it. And now we should be going to, well, actually first, before we launch, I think we should go ahead, we're going to stage 2 different stages so our parachute doesn't stage at the same time that we launch, first of all. And second of all, now we are going to change our minimum pressure to 0.1, which at this point, at this current point in my gameplay, I couldn't remember which one, because this is pre-recorded, unfortunately. I'm doing the voiceover after the fact because I still haven't got the microphone figured out correctly. 0.2 minimum pressure equals about 9 kilometers on Kerbin. Not sure what 0.1 atmospheres equals on Kerbin, but that is what I set it to, was 0.1. So either way, as long as we stage it, it'll start deploying by at least 9 kilometers. We went ahead and toggled our SAS on, the stability assist system, something like that, SAS. That's what we're going to go ahead and just continue to call it, because I can't remember its full name. There's our pilot, Jebediah Kerbin. We don't have to worry about throttle because this is a solid fuel engine, but we should be going ahead and taking a look at the map. Here we go, and here is zone 3 MH3 shown by that nice green icon right there. So we're going to go ahead and set our activation to target that. Also, as of right now, you can see down in the lower left, well, not lower left of the screen, left of the nav ball, we only have one SAS assist available, and that is just the standard stability assist. This does not target your navigation like we were able to do in the suborbital flight training simulator. So unfortunately, we're going to have to try to launch and navigate to zone 3 MH3 on our own. So here we go. Going to go ahead and start moving. We can see down there at the bottom of the nav ball, there is our zone. You can see that even with me putting solid input on the pitch, it's not doing flips like it did on our first episode. So with the SAS active, it helps quite a bit when controlling your craft in flight. So we're heading over to zone 3 MH3 currently. We're going to go ahead and observe our mystery goo. The goo jiggles and wobbles as the craft flies. That's pretty cool. Oh, paused on accident. There we go. Keep experiment. Not the RT5 fleet. That's not what we're trying to click on. There we go. The crew hatch. So here I'm going to struggle to find the crew report submenu, which is all the way down at the bottom. There it is. Now the shores look. Oh, I couldn't really read that, but okay. We took a crew report either way. So we were only at about 3,800 kilometers. We went ahead and staged. The parachute should fully deploy by 1,000 meters. I guess we probably staged a little bit late, so luckily it fully deployed right there around 500 meters, so we are able to still enjoy a nice leisurely float down to the water. I wonder what their oceans are called. We're all worried about space, but I'm not even really thinking about what their oceans are called. We know that the planet is called Kerbin, but like, do they have continents? Are they just like one big nation of Kerbals? Pretty sure there's a couple different launch areas on Kerbin. So different races of Kerbals? Is that a thing? I'm curious. I'm a little toasty right now, so my mind's just wandering a little bit as we're doing this. It's fun to just think about random things like that. But yeah, what is their oceans called, I wonder? Like, what did we just splash into? And we're gonna recover the vessel. We learned how to do that in our training, which was awesome, because before I was going just back. But there you can see we earned 10.6 science. We have a total of 19. It says down at the bottom, but 19.5 up at the top. We got 3.5 science for our crew report, 7 science for mystery goo, and point 0.1 for recovering our vessel. We also recovered, let's see from my notes here, we recovered 2,700 funds from parts. We have a total of 149,773, you can see up there at the top. But now we're going to go head over to the research and development building and take a look. We have enough points to unlock 1 of 2, which is that survivability, and you can see we're going through the different parts that it unlocks. There's 8 different parts within the survivability tab. There's radial mount parachutes, a service bay, which I don't know what that would be for, but there's radial mount parachutes, I think there's a heat shield in there of some sort, and then we have stabilizer for, 18 points, I believe. We get a radial decoupler, radial wings, and then like a domed nose cone. So that'd be like more for like shuttles, I would feel. But up there at the top here, we got general rocketry for 20 points. We're almost, we only need 0.5 more, half a science point more. We can unlock the general rocketry. That would give us 2 more engines and a fuel cell. So we're gonna go ahead and we still need to conduct a focused observational survey of Kerbin by taking a crew report in flight below 17,800 meters near zone 3MH3. But we're going to go ahead and accept another contract while we're at it, just because we might as well try to complete 2 contracts during one flight, during one mission. It's always the goal, complete as many contracts as possible to maximize our fund and science point earning. In my opinion, I would think that would be the goal, is to complete as many contracts as possible at a time. We have 2 that we can accept, so we need to be able to try to complete 2 during one mission. So for this next contract, we're going to haul the Mark 16 parachute into flight above Kerbin. So now we have to have the Mark 16 parachute be on Kerbin, flying altitude 3,000 to 10,000 meters and a speed between 150 meters per second to 290 meters per second. To be able to test this effectively, we'll get a 6,750 fund advance and then 16,875 funds for completing it, with 2 science points and 4 stars for our reputation. So you can see these other contracts: test the LV T45 swivel, test the RT10 hammer, test the RT5 flea, which we've already launched and recovered, so that'll probably be our next contract that we accept, because that one's an easy one. We know we can do that one. We know we can do the LVT45 swivel engine now that we've had our training. But for now, we're just going to go ahead and haul this Mark 16 parachute into flight, because this one should be easy. We're still going for the zone 3MH3, so I figure we might as well just do an easy one with it, So there's a conduct a focus temperature survey of Kerbin, but just to keep it simple, while we're still trying to do this dang mission or dang contract to take a crew report in flight, we're going to go ahead and accept the parachute contract. So we're going to build, this one didn't even get anywhere near the target zone, so we're going to go ahead and build a new one. I don't understand why it auto-saved. Oh, because I had it in 2 stages. Gotcha. So yeah, we're going to delete the 1 stage. We're going to go back. We'll end up save. Yep, there you go. Saved it. So we got the 2-stage craft saved as the goo collector Mark 1. We're going to go ahead and delete the autosave because we don't really need the autosave. We only need 1. It's always good to have backups, I guess, but it's very simple to build. It shouldn't take us too long, and it shouldn't be too hard. Later on, definitely can understand having backup saves of your builds. But for this one, we're going to go ahead and do a variation of the jumper that we built during the intermediate construction training. So we're going to take our TD12 decoupler, attach it underneath our command pod, which again should automatically be pointed the correct way. You shouldn't have to worry about flipping it. But instead of 5 fuel cells, we're going to do 3 of the the FLT 100 fuel cells. In the intermediate construction, we had 5 of those, so we're only going to do 3 just to keep our fun usage down. And the LVT 45 swivel engine. We're also going to use 4. I'm going to set symmetry option to 4. We're going to use 4 basic fins as well, keep us a little stable, as we didn't have any on the last craft, and I don't think it really mattered, but for this one we got a little bit more power, so we're going to go ahead and just for safety reasons, we're going to go ahead and put those fins on there and see if we can get this baby back home safely. So this is we're going to end up naming this one as well, the jumper, but first we're going to adjust our minimum pressure indicators. Let's see, we're going to put this one to 0.2 this time, and then adjust our altitude to 1300 meters, just for safety reasons, because the end of last episode I wasn't able to recover a craft safely, so might as well try to use these settings the way we learned about. So trying them out in different variations. So we got 0.2 minimum pressure and 1300 on the altitude. We're gonna go ahead. We gotta name this guy. It's the Jumper Mark 1. There it is, Jumper Mark 1. Save it. Not new. Save. There it is. Now we're gonna launch. So here we go for our mission number 9 now. This is our 9th career launch. Here we go. Well, yeah, next, actually, not gonna launch yet. We're not ready yet. We need to make sure our SAS is activated and our targeting is set to our zone, our correct zone, even though the SAS doesn't directly take us to our navigation. We're still going to enable it just because it does help with keeping our craft stable during flight. So we're going to go ahead and turn that back on and make sure that our navigation is set, so that way there should be a nice little marker somewhere on our nav ball so we can get to our zone. Remember, this is a liquid fuel engine, so, which I forgot, we need to throttle up in order to be able to go. We need to be able to throttle because it's a liquid fuel. It's not the solid. It doesn't just go like a solid fuel engine. So, but now we are up and away. We are at 350 meters per second and counting. In speed, we're at 5,000 meters in counting in altitude. You can see right underneath our altitude, the atmosphere gauge is slowly heading towards the dark blue, which means we are heading further out of the atmosphere. There's our little target reticule, and you can see down at the very bottom, you can barely see the green indicator of our zone, which we're at 20,000 meters now, way too high to be taking our crew report. So we need to check this out. We're flying into zone correctly. Like we are going to be flying into the zone, but we are definitely going to be overshooting it, which is not good. We have to be in our zone and take a crew report underneath, like below 17,800 meters in order for us to complete that contract. So either we're going to completely overshoot this zone, which, oh, now I just basically pointed it, okay, there we go. Trying to increase the drag a little bit to slow us down, hopefully drop us a little quicker. Remember that if we increase our air resistance, then it'll slow us. I don't know why I'm trying to point backwards. Pointing almost straight down now, but away from where we're going. I don't understand why I'm doing that. Here we rotate it again, increasing air resistance. We're dropping below 17,800, 17,100 meters, 17,000 meters now. I'm sorry. Gosh, I can't speak or think. Now would be the time to be taking that crew report. I know I can't really tell. Yep, there we go. SAS is active again. And you see how it just automatically reorientated us the correct way. So now we took our crew report. Yeah, I think I can see my house from here. That's pretty funny. That's good. Gotta appreciate when developers put things like that in their games. I appreciate it. I think it's pretty funny. People take pride in their work and it shows. You know, it's like, oh, hey, there went a piece of our craft. I wonder where that went. Huh. I saw it fly by. Oh no, I forgot a stage. Oh no. Oh. That's unfortunate. Well, I mean, not really too unfortunate because we have a nifty restart from launch feature almost 5 minutes ago. Wow. I decided also not to speed up the build and launch processes from in my career mode anymore, like in our gameplay sessions. I really did that for time purposes, and I didn't want to split it down into 2 episodes if I didn't have to. So I just wanted to go ahead and get it out. This one I had pre-recorded. The next one will be, I would be recording the voiceover while I'm playing the game. I kind of have my setup figured out a little bit, so making do with what I got, as we got to do. But setting our throttle to 75%, And here we go. Alright, so we're launching towards zone 3MH3 one more time. Hopefully, third time is the charm for this episode. So let's go. We're following that little target. I don't know what that target's really telling us. I mean, we're navigating towards zone 3MH3. Oh yeah, see, now we're like really overshooting it. So we need to go ahead and throttle down maybe. Yep, throttle down. We're down to the 75% range again. We probably could have went a little bit lower, to be honest, but at this point I don't really think it matters. We're way too high. It's 24,000 meters and counting still. A lot higher than we intended to. Oh, we're gonna come right down into our target zone now, I feel. So we need to increase our drag a little bit more, like we already did. Now we're getting a good drag going, getting a lot of resistance. Hopefully, we're slowing down a lot. 300 counting, 290, 290, 285, 280. So yeah, we're slowing our rate of descent now, but now we've already hit apoapsis and we're starting to descend, and we're starting to descend faster, so we should be falling right into our zone here soon. You are entering zone 3MH3, awesome, just saw that come across the top. So we are in our target zone. Now we just need to wait until 17,800 meters to take our crew report. And we will be able to finally complete that contract. And as long as we stage our craft correctly, we will be able to complete our second contract, which was our goal, to complete both contracts in our launch. So mission 10 now is going to be a success as long as we take our, I think we already did take our crew report. There went another piece of our aircraft. Did we stage? We're at 7,000 meters. Did we stage? Did we stage? Stage. There we go. Staged. 5,000. Alright. See? Look at that. Both. Right there. Both contracts completed. Good to go. Good to go. Heck yeah, guys. So let's watch this. See where it should open up by 1,300. Or be fully deployed by 1,300. I'd say yeah, right around there. Maybe a little bit over, but still, that's now we're steadily cruising at about 5.5 meters per second. So we got a little bit of time left now before we actually land. We still got 1,200 meters to go, something around that, give or take, for altitude. That is at sea level, not ground level. So, but we did conduct a focus observational survey of Kerbin. We took our crew report in flight below 17,800 meters in zone 3MH3. We also performed our test of the Mark 16 parachute. We hauled it in flight above Kerbin, and we deployed it between the altitudes of 3,000 to 13,000 meters, and 3,000 to 10,000 meters, and a speed of 100 meters per second to 290 meters per second. So we completed both of our contracts, which is a big success in my book. That is awesome. Which means not only did we get more science points, we got more funds to be able to use to build bigger, better spacecraft. Oh yeah, see, there's our part over there. Huh. Wonder if we can recover that. There's our little hatch. It's pretty good detail though. 683 meters at ground level. Successfully landed. That is, well, successful launch number 4. Successfully launched and recovered our 4th craft out of 10. One of those was a dud though, so there's only 5 crash landings. But still, we're doing better. We're getting better. We got 3.5 science for our crew report and 0 science for recovery of a vessel that survived the flight. So that is 5 recoveries, and we now have 0 science from it. So there's a perfect example of what happens when you perform a science experiment multiple times. Real quick before we go to close this episode out, we're going to go ahead and accept our next missions to start our next episode. I think we're going to go ahead and start with some basics. We have 2 conduct a focus temperature survey of Kerbin contracts to perform now, but I don't feel like that's not a good enough contract to start. So we're going to probably go ahead and test the LVT-45 swivel engine. We'll get an advance of 8,333 funds. We'll get 21,000 funds for completing it, along with 3 science points and 6 reputation. So that'll be nice. We need to try to take that to an altitude of 24,000 meters, I think it said. So we went ahead and accepted that, testing the LVT-45, and we'll go ahead and test the TD-12 decoupler. Oh, we need to land it. Oh, well, yeah, because that's attached to our command pod. So yeah, we can land it. Oh look, we have an escape the atmosphere contract coming up. That'll be nowhere near ready for that, I don't think. So next episode, we will be starting with the LVT-45 swivel engine test and the TD-12 decoupler test to start the episode, and we'll move on from there. We'll probably move on into those temperature readings, but we might do, I don't know if we'll do both of them at the same time, which would probably be a smart thing to do, so we can just do a one and done kind of deal. But we also had to test the RT-10 hammer and the RT-5 flea contracts, so we'll probably end up doing those as well. Episode 1 we used the RT-10 hammer, so we have used both of those, but that'll be the end of all of our trivial contracts. So we might try to do all of those and complete our trivial contracts next episode. So, but we do have a total of 28 science points, and we have enough to unlock 1 out of 3. So we can unlock the general rocketry, which has 3 parts, 2 different engines and a fuel cell. Which is 20 science points. There's stability, which we should get ready to look at right now, which is, I believe, 18. It also comes with 3 points. I don't know what I'm looking at right there. That's an older one. It comes with a radial decoupler, a winglet, and a nose cone. It says aerodynamic nose cone, but well, that's more of for like space planes, spacecraft, space shuttle kind of deal. But well, that's what I would figure with the radial decouplers and the winglets. But so we have 3 new parts with stability for 18 research points, or survivability, which has 8 parts, including radial mount drogue chutes, which would come in handy for heavier spacecraft like our RT-10 Hammer, maybe. We will definitely have to stage the RT-10 Hammer. We'd have to stage that. There's no way we could recover that safely without these radial mount drogue chutes and radial mount parachutes. There's a service bay. We talked about that earlier a little bit. I don't know what it is. There's a micro landing strut, radiator panel, a barometer, and heat shields. So that's 15 research points. So out of the 3, general rocketry, stability, or survivability, which node would you as the viewer wish to see unlocked next? Because we already have the first 2 unlocked. Now we have enough research points to start unlocking the second tier of research. And I want to leave it up to you as the viewers to decide what we unlock next. So out of the 3, we got general rocketry, which has 2 more engines and a fuel cell. We got stability, which has a nose cone, a wing, and a radial mount decoupler, and survivability, which has 8 parts and includes a lot of different things: heat shields, radial mount parachutes, a science experiment. Was there something else in there that we saw as well? Oh, a radiator panel. That's right. So basically, I need your help to determine the future of our space program and where we're going to go from here. You can cast your vote in the comment section down below. The voting period will end on Monday, November 20th at midnight, which give you plenty of time to vote and give me plenty of time to record and edit the next episode before posting on Friday. So if you guys enjoyed this video, go ahead and light up the like button to let me know you got all the way through and help me keep the 420 community growing. If you want to stay up to date with the channel, spark up the subscribe button and hit the bell to get notified so you can be first in rotation on the next session. I hope you guys have an awesome week, and until the next adventure, stay toasty, my friends.